What's up, NIO family? This is Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the overall market. Just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I'm saying as financial advice. There's been some good news that came out for the markets. President Trump came out and he said that China wants to talk and we like talking to China. We have a very good relationship and we're going to be meeting in South Korea. He's talking about Xi Jinping. So President Trump is saying within 2 weeks he's going to be meeting up with China's president and they're going to once again be negotiating what's happening with trade and such. He also said that there could be a trade deal coming. And then President Trump also said that the proposed 100% tariff on goods from China would not be sustainable. Okay, so that's important news because he's once again telling us that with what's going on, the high tariffs are not going to be a long-lasting thing. It's just a negotiation tactic, and if they do come, it's going to be very temporary. And this is what helped the market bounce quite a bit. The market really liked that news. This helped NIO and the whole market rebound after a big red day yesterday. Even despite the GIC lawsuit that came out about them inflating their revenue numbers. So overall, NIO is trying to balance. We also have the ET9 getting a lot of attention, which is going to be very competitive. Now, next week, we have a lot of big earnings. We have like Tesla, Netflix, and a bunch of other ones announcing earnings. Big tech earnings will be starting off with Tesla on Wednesday. So be ready for that. And then finally, when it comes to the economic calendar, there's not really much coming out. We're going to see what happens with some data, such as initial jobless claims and such for next week. And CPI data, I believe it might be coming out on Friday. This is, I think, a delayed report, so we'll see what that leads to. And we're going to be very, very patient, at least nonetheless. So with that being said, we have a lot of stuff coming out, at least for the markets in the upcoming week. For NIO, we're bouncing as a result of what President Trump had said. I would like to see us hold above $7 to try to turn more bullish. We might push for 6.8 to 7, then we're going to see if we reject off that or not. But overall, there is some more upside potential to get closer to $7. SPY and the QQQ are also bouncing of an inverse head and shoulders. We're going to likely try to continue to push for 668. However, here's the thing about this. Even if we do push to 668 to 670, I still think we're looking a bit more bullish, but we have not invalidated this head and shoulders. There's still a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder here from 670. So even if we do pop up here, it's still possible we reject again. So I would not turn way too bullish unless we hold above the 670s to go to all-time highs. There might be a temporary bounce, but we could still reject. The head and shoulders has not been invalidated. So I do think we go a little higher next week, but then we could reject again because of the head and shoulders. Same thing with the QQQ. We have a left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. If we break past 608, we're looking for all-time highs. But if we can't, we could still turn. The last time we touched 607, we got a big rejection. We might reject again, so be very careful with the head and shoulders still being present. Also, the IWM still has a gap to fill at 238. So that could be a hint we're going to be coming down again. We might temporarily bounce for 248, and we'll see if we turn back down to fill that gap. On ES, we're also forming a double bottom. We could be looking for 67.25 to 67.50, but overall, there is still a head and shoulders. Even if we push to the 67.50s, we could still turn right back down. On NQ, same thing. There's a left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. We're going to see if 25,200 holds. If not, we could pump a bit more before rejecting back down to 24,500. Bitcoin may also bounce for 109,000. Tesla has earnings next week, and if we continue to run, we're going to be looking for this to break 440. If it does, 445 is easily coming then back to the 450s. There is upside potential. Nvda is also looking a bit more bullish. If we break past 184, we're going to be going even higher. But if we reject here, we could be turning back down to 178. But overall, we're looking quite good. Aapl looks bullish. We're making higher lows here. As long as we don't lose 249, we're going to be looking for an attempt for 255. For AMD, we're looking pretty good. We're trying to hold above 228. As long as this holds, we're looking for an attempt for 240. Coinbase is also trying to bounce back up to 342. Amazon has a slight divergence. It's looking for an attempt for 216. Meta is going to likely test 720. Google's going for 256, and Microsoft is going to be testing 515 then 518. The VIX is also rejecting as a gap to pull back down to 19.9. I think 19.9 to 19.5 could be tested. We could be returning into this range, which would take us back down. But then we'll see if we bounce again once we test those supports. So overall, the VIX might not be done yet, and the market still has downside potential. We might bounce temporarily. This could also help NIO push closer to $7. Then we'll see if we get a rejection or not after that. Anyways, that's it for this one. Thank you all so much for listening, and peace out.